A look into Chaim Bloom's remaining offseason plans, as well as where the Cardinals system now ranks after their latest trade. Additionally, we have to talk about how the Cardinals' new TV deal might be tanking our future hopes. And lastly, the Cardinals make a small yet noteworthy signing. Thank you for tuning in to the St. Louis Cardinals Daily Podcast. My name is Andrew Teuscher, and Chaim Bloom, in his press conference when he was talking about the Brendan Donovan trade, was asked some other questions and did not just talk about the Donovan trade, but they asked him, what else are you thinking about, Chaim? What's on the plate for the rest of the offseason? And well, it looks like we might still be adding an outfield bat. We brought this up 6 weeks ago that the Cardinals have been considering adding an outfield bat, and something small has been still lingering since then, but this is the first time in a while Bloom has come out and reiterated we are still looking for an outfield bat. What might be worth noting is that in the past, Bloom had mentioned how the Cardinals are looking for a right-handed outfield veteran bat, and this time he dropped the right-handed part. I don't know if that's just, he was talking and forgot to say the right-handed part, or if things are changing a little bit, as many outfielders have signed since then. Notably, guys like Harrison Bader are now off the block for the Cardinals to acquire, so maybe he's more open to signing a lefty. I don't know if we should do that. Regardless, Katie Woo came out and said this, stating that and reiterating that Bloom is still interested in adding an outfielder. Quote, Miguel Andujar and former Cardinal Randall Grichuk remain on the market, but Bloom could also swing a smaller trade. Any addition, whether through trade or free agency, will likely be a 1 or 2 year deal. So the Cardinals are looking into just adding a short-term veteran through whatever means possible. I really don't like the idea of making a trade, even if it's a small one. I don't think it's worthwhile, even if it's a out-of-nowhere prospect that we think is going to be terrible. I'd say we give the prospect a shot over we go out and trade that prospect for the Cardinals to get an outfielder that's going to help us not win anyway. Now, I do see some value in the Cardinals signing an outfielder, acquiring an outfielder, just not giving up any sort of youth to do so. Maybe I could get on board if it's someone who actually has a couple years of control and would be around for a little while, but realistically, I just hope that is not the case. Bloom didn't bring that up. Woo does mention that. And why I think the Cardinals will still likely add an additional veteran bat is they've already added some additional veterans through Ryan Stanek in the bullpen and Dustin May in the rotation. So it makes sense why the Cardinals are open to adding a guy into the outfield mix, because our outfield, frankly, right now is not looking great. Not only is it not looking great if the players who are supposed to play, but also Lars Nootbaar is, for all intents and purposes, probably going to start the year on the IL. Jeff Jones came out and said that in the Belleville News Democrat whenever he was talking about the roster projections for the Cardinals. And if you go to ESPN's injury updates, that's what they have, is that it's expected that Nootbaar, per Jeff Jones, may start the season on IL and may not be there until mid-April. So if that's the case, the Cardinals need to have some guy around for Nootbaar to even just go back and rehab and take his time getting back, because we don't want to rush Nootbaar by any means. But who are we starting if we don't have Lars Nootbaar in our outfield? He was already supposed to be the best of the outfield, which wasn't already good. So that leaves Victor Scott, Jordan Walker, Jose Fermin, Nathan Church. I know we aren't wanting guys. It's a rebuild, guys. Or the point of a rebuild is that you give young guys the opportunity to play. Here's the issue. How many of us were screaming and yelling about the mishandling of development of young guys like Jordan Walker whenever they came up too quickly and didn't pan out? Well, the Cardinals might be in that position if they have to start drawing up that minor league depth that should be playing every day at the minor league level if Nootbaar can't go. That's why it makes a lot of sense for the Cardinals to potentially sign a guy. I wasn't on board with that fully. I thought it'd be good maybe just to have some competence. That is definitely another value, is adding a veteran presence and some competence. You want to rebuild. You don't want the vibes in the dugout to be dreadful because we're losing 100 games. I don't think the Cardinals will lose 100 games, but you get the point why adding more competency is not necessarily a bad thing, along with just the coaching and overall vibes improvement of the team. I know vibes are not a stat, but I swear they matter, I promise. So the Cardinals are looking into that. And plus, we consider Jordan Walker, if things just completely hit the fan and he looks terrible this year, you want to pull the plug on the poor guy. Give him an opportunity to platoon, maybe figure it out. He had a negative 1.2 WAR last year, which was his worst year. He was better in the previous 2 years other than that. So Nootbaar injury plus a negative WAR guy, if you're just hoping for a better product, it's pretty easy to find. That leaves options. Again, Miguel Andujar, I've been constantly saying, and everyone in the comments, I think, pretty much agrees. If you're going to sign a guy had an 822 OPS last year, has shown flashes in the past. Probably the best remaining hitter. He is in relatively high demand relative to the other remaining free agents. Austin Slater is also mentioned in an article by MLB Trade Rumors, but also then there's Randall Grichuk and Tommy Pham mentioned there by Woo and also MLB Trade Rumors on their page. Grichuk, I think, would make a lot of sense if we want a platoon. He still mashes lefties. He had a very down season last year. Overall OPS of 674 versus lefties, it was 703. The 2 years before that, if we're hoping for a bounce back, versus in 2024, overall was a good year. 875 overall OPS, 913 versus lefties. 23, more what we'd probably expect. A 779 OPS would be a great year for Grichuk, but 995 versus lefties. I love that for a platoon. Plus, Tommy Pham is an option. He had a .2 WAR last year. That's still a full WAR better than Jordan Walker was last year. So if something happens with Nootbaar, or if Jordan Walker just completely flops, it leaves Tommy Pham as an option. In 2025, he had a 700 OPS. 24, he had 674, and in 23, he had a 774. Just options, competency in the outfield of something we might be looking for. So something for the Cardinals to consider. You guys let me know, who would you like the Cardinals to sign with those options now out there remaining, with a little bit of an update. And I'll keep you guys updated on the Nootbaar news as it comes in, with that double heel surgery not healing very well. Catch the pun. Moving on, the Cardinals farm system is now ranked as the second best in baseball, according to Baseball America, a very reputable source for ranking prospects throughout the MLB. And that is up from 18th last year. So this Chaim Bloom, and as some people want to correctly give credit to, John Mozeliak, his last couple draft picks added were quality, being Weatherholt and Liam Doyle. So he's helped reset the system a lot, but regardless of who was doing it, our Cardinals are now the second best farm system in baseball. What kind of sucks is that the teams that are right next to them, number one is the Pittsburgh Pirates, mostly because of Connor Griffin. Number three is the Milwaukee Brewers. So Cubs, where are you at? Enjoy your time in the sun, because the Cardinals are coming for you. But it's easy to see why the Cardinals are ranked so highly. Their top 6 prospects are all in the top 100. J.J. Weatherholt, Liam Doyle, Roniel Rodriguez, Durangelo Senja, Joshua Baez, Leonardo Bernal. We have incredible depth now in our minor league system at multiple different positions, and we have the top-end talent. The Cardinals farm system is not just looking good to us Cardinals fans. The Cardinals farm system is being highly regarded by national media. Hey, I get in the comment section, some folks were saying I was crazy for saying the Senja edition and the Pete edition would make the Cardinals top 5. Hey, Baseball America agrees with me, so if you can disagree with both of us, I'll take Baseball America's side any day of the week. The Cardinals farm system looking young. We're looking good. The team doesn't look good. Tickets will be cheap next year. So I'll maybe see you guys at the ballpark, as you'll get to go as many times as you want next year. Let's not talk about why it'll be so cheap. Just think about how cheap it is and how good our future might be. Focus on the positives, folks. Moving on, not so positive. Not so positive at all. The Cardinals' new TV deal with MLB.tv, I actually have hopes for. I think it might look good, stream good. They put out a good product on MLB.tv, so hopefully Cardinals.tv will be good. However, it doesn't mean good things for the Cardinals front office. Katie Woo dug into what this deal might be doing to the Cardinals' revenue, and it does not look good. Woo had to say, quote, "The club is expecting to see a significant drop in gate revenue this year following historically low attendance," so that's one big revenue dip. Additionally, she goes on to say the Cardinals are expected to see roughly $20 million in broadcast revenue this season. That is down significantly from the roughly $60 million they expected last year. And last year, even they were down. They ended up getting $40 million in revenue. We're expected $60 million. And now they're going to be at $20 million. That's a considerable dip. We all like to say millionaires have the money, they have the deals, they're able to spend. That's $60 million in cash that the Cardinals are not going to have to spend on their players. And the Cardinals will be about in the revenue sharing, because our revenue this year will be low enough, and the MLB helps supplement that, so that'll help. But the Cardinals' revenue will probably be down until we figure this out. It was up in like the 140, 150, and up into the 160 million mark whenever we were actually competing. That's what I expect us to get back to, but only if we can get this TV deal figured out. The big difference with the MLB.tv and Cardinals.tv, whatever you call it, the MLB streaming deal, is that it doesn't give guaranteed money. It's all about if people tune in, and it's frankly just less overall anyway. So if Cardinals fans watch a ton of this and buy a ton of this product, and a bunch of the broadcast cable companies want to put the Cardinals on air, it can go up, but it's expected to still be way, way lower, and it could be lower than $20 million. That's just the hope. It could still hit under in a year where the Cardinals are not expected to be so good. So, hey, do your part, watch the Cardinals, and hopefully we figure it out. This rebuild probably works out in the best way of the timing of it. We're cutting payroll anyway. It wasn't going to be high. I think the timing just works out well but they didn't do this on purpose. They did not time this on purpose. The Cardinals came out and said they did not expect to default on FanDuel Sports Network through the Main Street Sports Group already. It wasn't supposed to happen this quickly. The Cardinals were expecting to have time. This is what they're doing in the meantime, and luckily it won't impact much right now. But if we don't figure it out 2 or 3 years from now, our hope of a rebuild is going to continue to linger, and this thing could get ugly. So hopefully they figure out that revenue. That's the biggest, kind of train hitting Cardinals fans, as we're hoping for a bright and shiny tunnel light there at the end. So Cardinals fans, we have to hope for the best. Let me know if you're panicking with me too. Lastly, the Cardinals made a small but still worth noting addition today. They added Bly Madris, a Mexican native who was recently in the Tigers system, and nobody knows about this guy. It was I saw Jeff Jones, or was it Derek Gould, one of the two, just retweeted a guy who does minor league coverage, just said, yeah, that happened. So this is what they had to say about him. Madris slashed .232, .320, .384 with 5 home runs in 50 games with AAA Toledo and the Tigers organization last year. He'll turn 30 later this month and has managed a .204, .273, .286 batting line in parts of 3 major league seasons. So he's been up and down a bit. Madris should be ticketed for AAA Memphis to begin the upcoming season. He's a left-handed first baseman who has a career minor league OPS of .752. I'm not sure we're ever going to hear this guy's name again. I'm not sure that this guy is going to stick around for very long, if he'll even survive spring training. It's just worth noting, if you see the guy's name, that's who he is, and we hope the best. Maybe he's the next Cardinals Jim. Probably not. But if we have a revenue drop like this, we're going to have more deals like this happening. I'm not panicking. You're panicking. I'm not panicking. You're panicking. Thank you for tuning in to the St. Louis Cardinals Daily Podcast. Again, my name is Andrew Teuscher. Tell me your guys' thoughts about the revenue, about if the Cardinals are going to add a bat, what you think of the Cardinals farm system, because Baseball America likes it. And drop those comments down below. Don't forget to subscribe. Guys, we're pushing for 1,000 subs before the start of the season. Let's get us there. You guys are phenomenal. Thanks for this community that we're building. Appreciate you tuning in.